welcome to Nerdscape Odyssey, Geek Adventures in all forms. My name is Tyler, I'm the gaming dad, and I'm joined here by my co-host and wife, Ashley, the nerd mom. While the internet was busy tearing itself apart over Assassin's Creed Shadows, a financial firestorm was quietly engulfing Ubisoft. This wasn't just about one game. This was a silent, slow-burn corporate apocalypse years in the making. One that absolutely wiped out billions in value and pushed out one of the world's biggest publishers to the absolute brink.
Yeah. And you know what? The public debates were a symptom, not the disease.
Yeah.
The real story isn't about historical accuracy in a video game. It's about how a company once valued at over 10 billion euros found itself in a desperate fight for survival. This is the hidden story of how years of internal failures, disastrous bets, and creative stagnation led to a stock market catastrophe that its biggest, most important new game could not stop, and it breaks my heart.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Oh my god, I loved this series.
Everybody loved the series, but it's exhausted.
Yeah, I know.
To understand just how deep this crisis runs, you have to look past the social media noise and follow the money. Back in mid-2018, Ubisoft was riding high. Its stock price was at an all-time peak, valuing the company at, like Ashley stated, 10 billion euros. It was a titan of the industry, a European powerhouse churning out massive open-world hits. Fast forward to today, though, that value has utterly collapsed. At its lowest right now, the company's stock had lost over 80% of its value from that of that 2018 peak. Years of shareholder value just gone, erased.
The controversy around Assassin's Creed Shadows became a flashpoint for this collapse, but it sure wasn't the cause. It was just the moment that the public finally smelled the smoke coming from the house that had been on fire for years.
Yeah.
So, for investors, the warning signs were already flashing bright red. The company was caught in a vicious cycle of massive spending, repeated delays, and games that were failing to meet the expectations that were being held. Like mine.
The problem wasn't one controversial trailer, though. The problem was a broken business model. Ubisoft had become this giant, well-oiled machine built to produce a very specific type of game. The sprawling, open-world checklist. At the exact moment when both the market and players were starting to move on, the company was spending more and more money to make games that were having less and less of a cultural and financial impact. While we were all arguing about Shadows, institutional investors were looking at the balance sheet and seeing a company teetering on the edge. This wasn't about creative choices anymore. It was about the financial viability.
For years, Ubisoft's answer to any problem was to bet bigger, to basically throw more money at it, throw more developers into it. All of that to flagship franchises, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy. All three of those I am absolutely obsessed with, by the way.
You've always loved Tom Clancy.
Oh man, I've been playing Tom Clancy. I just need to open up Rainbow Six Siege and start that one.
Yep.
But those bets were getting riskier, and the first domino to fall was a game that was supposed to launch a whole new era for the company. But instead, it signaled the beginning of the end.
The crisis that finally boiled over has its roots in a series of strategic blunders that started much earlier. The most glaring example, Skull and Bones. Originally dreamed up as a spin-off of the beloved naval combat from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, development began over a decade ago. It was meant to be Ubisoft's grand entry into the lucrative live service market, a perpetual money-making machine.
Instead, it became a symbol of corporate dysfunction. The game was rebooted multiple times. Its vision it was constantly shifting as it languished in development hell.
Yep.
The estimated cost spiraled to a reported $200 million.
Yeah.
When Skull and Bones finally limped to launch in February of 2024, the reception was, I'd say, lukewarm at best.
Yeah, exactly.
It debuted at number 4 on the UK box charts, and its physical sales were less than a quarter of what Sea of Thieves achieved at its launch.
Mm-hmm.
Reports suggested the game attracted around 850,000 players in its first week, a figure that critically included people who only played the free trial.
Yep.
For a game that CEO Yves Guillemot, I think I pronounced that correctly,
For sure.
but controversially labeled a quadruple A title to
Despite
justify
the numbers.
exactly right. To justify that it was a $70 price tag, the performance was a complete and total disaster. Ubisoft tried to spin it, highlighting record playing engagement, or record player engagement, I should say. But that's the kind of metric publishers tout when they can't boast about the actual sales.
Yeah, exactly. I remember online, social media, people were just chewing this title apart.
Yeah, I only heard a little bit about it. I didn't hear a whole lot, but I
People
didn't.
were always angry that it just kept getting postponed and postponed and postponed and postponed. And when it finally came out, it was like this big hype that just didn't deliver. People were extremely upset. But this wasn't an isolated incident. The real alarm bells for investors started ringing loudly in about January 2023. In a stunning announcement, Ubisoft issued a major profit warning, revealing that holiday sales were dramatically weaker than expected. To make matters worse, they simultaneously canceled 3 unannounced games and delayed the already beleaguered Skull and Crossbones again. And I should say Skull and Bones, but the market's reaction was brutal. The company's stock plummeted by around 15 to 20% in a single day, one of its worst drops in years. It was a clear vote of no confidence from the financial world, an admission that the company's entire strategy was actually failing. To stop the bleeding, Ubisoft announced an aggressive plan to slash over $200 million in costs, leading to waves of targeted restructuring, a corporate euphemism for basically mass layoffs that affected hundreds of employees across the globe here.
The problems were systemic. The Ubisoft had also tried to jump onto the NFT bandwagon with its Ubisoft Quartz platform.
Oh, yeah.
That was a move met with overwhelming backlash from both the
Yeah,
public,
people didn't like that.
and its own developers. The project was quietly shelved after generating almost no revenue. The string of financial misses and PR disasters created a perfect storm. The company was burning cash. Its development pipeline was kind of in disarray. The investors were losing faith. The stage was just set for a make or break moment, with the future of the entire company resting on its most reliable franchises. So this is the kind of in-depth story you're not going to get from mainstream gaming coverage. If you appreciate this level of analysis and want more deep dives into the stories behind the games that we play, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It really helps. It's free, nothing to you at all. It helps the channel immensely and ensures that you're not going to miss what's coming next. Now we're going to go back to how Ubisoft tried to solve a financial crisis with its 2 biggest gambles yet.
Yep, and it will always be free.
Yep.
Now, facing a full-blown financial crisis, Ubisoft doubled down on the only strategy it had left: mega brands. The plan was simple, if not desperate: leverage its 2 most powerful upcoming titles, Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows, to pull the company out of its nosedive. These weren't just games anymore, they were billion-dollar bets on the company's whole survival.
The first up was Star Wars Outlaws. On paper, it was a story-driven, open-world Star Wars game from the studio behind The Division, was a license to print money.
Yeah.
The game launched on August 30th of 2024. Generally positive reviews. However, the commercial reality soon set in. In October of 2024, unfortunately, Ubisoft reported that the sales of Star Wars Outlaws had underperformed expectations. Reports indicated it sold around 1 million copies in its first month. A respectable number, but a far cry from a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Its
What they
physical
were wanting anyway.
Exactly. But its physical launch in the UK was significantly weaker than Star Wars Jedi Survivors, and its later debut on Steam failed to attract a large player base. So it was a solid game, but it wasn't the seismic, market shattering hit that Ubisoft desperately needed.
This put even more pressure on Assassin's Creed Shadows. The franchise has been Ubisoft's crown jewel. For its 2024-2025 fiscal year, the brand continued to be a primary driver of the company's revenue. Shadows, set in the long-requested feudal Japan, was supposed to be a guaranteed win, but the game's announcement was immediately mired in controversy, distracting from the bigger picture. This single game was now tasked with carrying the financial weight of the entire struggling publisher. After an initial delay, the game launched on March 20th of 2025. Ubisoft reported a solid performance with strong praise from players. But it wasn't enough to single-handedly reverse years of financial damage, though.
So this over-reliance on a handful of aging franchises highlighted a core issue: creative fatigue.
Yeah.
For years, critics and players had pointed out the formulaic nature of Ubisoft's open worlds, the icon-filled maps, the repetitive quests, the sheer bloat. While competitors were innovating, Ubisoft was refining the same template. Even projects that should have been surefire hits became trapped in development chaos. The remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, first announced in 2020, is a prime example. So after its reveal was heavily criticized, the project was completely rebooted. However, despite rumors of a 2026 release, so this year, Ubisoft eventually made the difficult decision to cancel the project in early 2026. Basically, they were citing an inability to reach the quality standard the classic deserved. This failure to execute, even on a beloved classic, was another symptom of a company struggling with its own production pipeline.
It's actually, we're going over the over-reliance of, basically it's a rinse and repeat cycle. Someone I actually worked with, Rajan, he actually is a massive gamer, and he played Assassin's Creed, but the reason why he stopped is he felt it was basically all the games were a rinse and repeat standard of the previous one. Just every quest felt like the same thing. Stalk this guy, kill him. Stalk this guy, kill him. Stalk this guy, kill him.
The funny thing with Assassin's Creed is I enjoyed the first, I want to say, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So Altair being the first game, and then Ezio being, I think, the second,
Oh
third.
yeah, most people's favorites Ezio.
Ezio was amazing. I actually would not have minded the rinse and repeat missions, just in different time. I say I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed, guys, but I haven't played anything past Black Flag yet. I'm a little bit set in the way of I have to play it from the first game, second game, third game, fourth game, and on. And I'm also a completionist, so I want to try and get 100% or as close as humanly possible to 100% in anything. We don't play online. And Black Flag is the first game that actually has online missions where you need to be online to do them.
We don't have online on Xbox.
No, so those obviously were a complete wash. I will say, and I know I'm getting a little off topic here, I don't know about you guys, you can comment below on if you played Black Flag and you actually enjoyed this. The ship missions where you're steering the ship or playing on the ship.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I don't think I've ever raged so much in my life.
Watching you play that is funny.
I can never ever get perfect scores on those missions like I want to. So I'm stuck on Black Flag. I think I might just play Black Flag, the storyline, and forget about the completionist, at least of the ship and the online, which we can't even do.
Yeah, you've been trying years to get the 100% on those ships.
But Desmond's storyline, I think, stopped after the last Ezio game. and then you go into like a new thing. Anyways, I am going to tell you right now. We're gonna make a video in the future at some point, and I am going to have played more than Black Flag, and I'm gonna get to Shadows, and I'm gonna try Shadows like myself. I know it's gonna be a wash, but I'm going to at least attempt it, and I'm gonna get through every single one. I don't care how long it takes me, and I will keep you guys updated. But yeah, you guys definitely comment. Let us know what you think about the Assassin's Creed. But we'll definitely stop getting off topic here and go back into this deep dive that we kind of found out while we were doing this.
With its stock battered and its bets not delivering a knockout punch, Ubisoft had to make a move. That move came in the form of a deeper partnership with a tech giant, Tencent. In September 2022, a deal was announced where Tencent invested 300 million euros into Guillemot Brothers Limited, the holding company of Ubisoft founding family.
It's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
I don't know how much it is in Canadian. We're Canadians.
You could probably double it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so now we get the clear picture of that. But to be clear, this wasn't a takeover. It was just a defensive maneuver, and the deal was structured to strengthen the Guillemot family's control and fend off hostile takeovers, providing Ubisoft with what CEO Yves Guillemot called stability essential for its long-term development.
Yeah.
So in exchange, Tencent was allowed to increase its direct stake in Ubisoft to just under 10%, and it would help bring Ubisoft's PC titles to the massive Chinese market.
Exactly, but the reality of Ubisoft financial health was still grim. In early 2023, Moody's downgraded Ubisoft credit rating, citing operational shortfalls and a very competitive market. Credit downgrade makes it more expensive for a company to borrow money and signals to the financial world that it's a riskier bet. By the end of 2024 fiscal year, Ubisoft's net debt had climbed to 985 million euros. This figure improved to 885 million euros by the end of the fiscal year of 2025, but the company was still saddled with significant debt while financing its massive game pipeline. The Tencent deal provided a shield, but it didn't fix the fundamental problems that Ubisoft was actually having.
I still can't believe the numbers that we found out about the debt that they were in. Oh my gosh.
Like 885 million euros being an improvement.
From 985 million euros. Like,
wow.
I knew.
At what point do you shut your doors?
I knew Ubisoft was drowning.
Euros!
I will say this right now. I did not know until we actually started researching all about this and deep diving for you guys. I had no idea just how much they were in trouble.
Right? And like, that's last year. I can't imagine that got like significantly better. Like, I would imagine.
I don't think you can ever climb out of that.
Yeah, I would imagine with the crash of Shadows, that might be even bigger.
Yeah, that was before the crash of Shadows.
Yeah, like, at what point do you shut your doors?
Yeah, I don't know how Ubisoft is still around.
Yeah, but in the end, Assassin's Creed Shadows didn't break Ubisoft. The company was already broken. The controversies and online outrage were just noise that drew attention to a much deeper, more systemic crisis that had been escalating for years.
Yeah, the story of Ubisoft in the 2020s is a cautionary tale of a creative powerhouse that became a content factory, a titan that grew too big and too rigid to adapt. The obsession with a single, repeatable open world formula, no matter how good it was, led to a creative stagnation. So, pouring hundreds of millions into failures like Skull and Bones while struggling to launch new IPs drained its resources and credibility. And its massive global studio system became an anchor of unsustainable costs, like completely unsustainable costs, without a constant stream of mega hits, and it's so heartbreaking. I said that probably 5 times.
Unsustainable, like, wow.
And I've probably said it's heartbreaking like 20 times in this. Should make a drinking game out of it. How many times does she say it's heartbreaking? Just take a shot.
It really is. They were such a good name for so long.
But the brutal stock market collapse, the waves of layoffs, the canceled games, the desperate scramble for financial stability, these are all real consequences of a strategy that failed to see where the industry was heading.
Yeah, and the Tencent deal may have secured the Guillemot or Guillemot,
Guimont, I'm
Guillemot,
saying
however,
Guimont, I don't
right,
know.
that family's control, but it doesn't answer the most important questions about the future. Ubisoft has seen some return to profitability, driven by its powerful back catalog, but its long-term health is far from certain. It's a company at a crossroads, forced to restructure and rethink its entire identity.
So the question is no longer whether one game can save Ubisoft. The real question now is whether the company can fundamentally change the strategy that brought it to the brink in the first place.
Yeah.
So has Ubisoft's decade-long pursuit of bigger worlds and endless content created problems that are now just too big for even an assassin to solve?
They just
Get
need
that?
something new, man. Stop trying to bring stuff back from the past.
Anyways, we would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm actually quite curious as to what everybody thinks, especially people who love Assassin's Creed like I do. I think you were enjoying it too at first for the first bit.
Yeah, I mean, but I had the same issues as everyone else. After a while, it's like, this is the same thing over and over and over and
I'm
over
pretty
again.
sure. I'm pretty sure his enjoyment with Assassin's Creed now, because I still play it, I haven't played it in a bit, but I'm planning on playing it again. I think he's now more enjoying me raging over it
Yeah,
than playing it himself.
Yeah.
Because you would think that I believed that they could hear you in the screen. Like, I'm pretty sure our kids have stared at me like, "Mommy, who are you talking to?" Because, like, I will, like,
There's no one in the room with you.
it's the assassin on the other side of the screen, baby girl.
But thanks for making it to the end of this deep dive. If you enjoyed this analysis, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed for more stories on the business behind gaming. And we will see you next time.